So it turns out that all those massive charity streams on Twitch had a somewhat sinister side to them. Now, there are many people's names who are being attached to this, but I want to be clear from what I understand, people like Asmongold or Mizkif or the people that were mentioned in these, I don't know if XQC is mentioned or something like that, looks like his picture's on it. They were not, as far as I can tell, directly involved in this at all. I'm hoping that they probably just didn't know. The reason I'm covering this is so that people understand when you give money to charity, you have to be extremely careful. You have to be extremely diligent in your research, because most of the time, mere pennies on every dollar that gets donated ever even make it to the particular place where they're supposed to. And in this case, the marketing agency behind some of Twitch's most successful fundraising streams, according to this article, collected 42% of the profits, kept it for themselves. 42 cents on the dollar. And anybody who's talking about it is getting sued. So, I'm going to take that risk because I think it's important to report on this. But, it would help great if you helped reduce the stock over at Coffee Brand Coffee. We're already having to remove certain items as they sell out. Think about the party stuff. If you're going somewhere on New Year's, our chocolate-covered coffee beans, our roasted and salted. You can't get a bag of cashews this big for $7. Like all of our snacks, pick them up. You're going to love them, and they're insanely discounted, nearly 50% off. We've got coffee. We've got cocoa, we've got tea, all 30, 40, 50% off. And there's actually 2 pages of this. So when you scroll over, there's another page full of coffees that are 50% off, all while supplies last. You see, pumpkin pie, orange creamsicle, peaches and cream, French toast, our vanilla sugar cookie, which is selling like hotcakes, s'mores. I mean, our cold brews, massively discounted. Everything's up to 62% off, only while supplies last. So pick some up today. It's not going to make it by Christmas, but it'll be there shortly after. And of course, it'll be stocked up for New Year's and also for the rest of your year. Now, this, and the link will be in the description. So according to Jacob Wolf, we have this. It's March 29, 2021. 5 of Twitch's most watched men are sitting in front of a long white tablet inside of a room in an Austin, Texas home. Over the next 8.5 hours, Asmongold, Mizkif, Esfand, Nimp, Rich Campbell will unbox some of the rarest Pokemon cards in the world, worth thousands of dollars. The hundreds of thousands of viewers watching will get a chance to win these cards if they donate to charity. Which, that's actually, I think you have to allow people to win without giving money, I think. Maybe it's different with charity. All of these cards from all these boxes are going to you guys, and the money for the giveaways is going to Games for Love, the site said of the most popular of the bunch, Asmongold. By the end of the 8.5 hours, the 5 men raised more than $600,000 for Games for Love, a Washington state-based charity focused on video game distraction therapy for terminally ill children. Sounds like an awesome charity. Before 2020, the charity had never raised more than $50K in a single year, according to their tax records. But then when these 5 members of OTK, led by more than 37 influencers, ran campaigns throughout the next 2 years, it raised nearly $2 million in donations. I mean, again, to the Asmongold and all the crew and all their viewers who donated, that is a huge W. Huge W. Yet, according to public records, and again, I'm not implying that any of these guys knew this. I doubt they did. But this is just a cautionary tale that people need to be careful when they donate money. According to public records, almost half of that money never went to charity. At first, the idea of an influencer teaming up with a charity to raise money makes sense. Celebrities often speak on behalf of charities, encouraging their fans and admirers to donate money. But as donors, fans, and journalists have started to scrutinize relationships between internet influencers and charities claiming they support, they found questionable business practices that threaten to undermine the faith of people in them when clicking that donate button. Games for Love started raising startling rise was anything but organic. Behind the scenes, an Atlanta-based marketing company called Soft Giving played the middleman between the charity and who's who of Twitch and YouTube, the likes of OTK, Ludwig, Adrave, Justin Minks. I don't know who any of these people are. Don't care. and other influencers, both big and small, and Games for Love wasn't the only beneficiary. In 2020 and 2021, Soft Giving and those influencers raised a total of $6.2 million, according to publicly available tax records. Yet $2.6 million, roughly 42% of it, was kept by Soft Giving to cover its commissions and expenses, including influencer fees, whatever that is. So if the influencers get paid, I don't know, from those public records. I always say, if you want to donate to a charity, donate on your own. Donate it directly. Don't give it to some middleman. Your local humane society. I still love giving, supporting Toys for Tots, but give it to them directly. In the course of this investigation, the Jacob Wolf Report conducted more than a dozen interviews with influencers, their agents and managers, nonprofit industry leaders, academics, attorneys, accountants, competing brand marketing agencies, and the charities themselves, many of them who spoke on the record. We also examined, by the way, shout out to Jacob Wolf, dang. We also examined more than 250 pages of documents, including public tax returns, partnership contracts, correspondence, web archives, and many streams that occurred over that 2-year period. What we learned is that Soft Giving was not consistently forthcoming with the public, nor the influencers that it worked with, about its expenses and how it compensated itself. And in several instances, it told influencers a different story than what actually occurred in reality. Soft Giving, which has now renamed itself Brandfluence earlier this year, declined to provide executives for interviews and cancel multiple planned meetings during the reporting of the story. It instead filed a lawsuit against the author of this story, Jacob Wolf, on December 14th, prior to the publication of this piece, alleging that he had defamed their company. A letter written by the attorney representing Brandfluence demanded that we do not publish this piece. Well, I guess, that's going to happen, boys. Make sure you leave a like on this video and you post it on Twitter and you post it on Facebook and you post it on Minds and Gab and tell people this is why you need to beware when you donate to charities. And if they're trying to squash any legitimate criticism, it is our job to show them, again, what the Streisand effect really is. We believe in investigative journalism and our First Amendment right and freedom of press. Here's an inside look of how Middlemen Marketing Company capitalized on a niche of highly viewed yet critically underserved industry of influencer-led charity marketing campaigns, and in the process made itself millions of dollars. Soft Giving's pitch to the charity industry focused on the personal story of its founder and CEO, Matt Flatsgraf. In various interviews, he credits his charitable aspirations to childhood, where he spent time at local Boys and Girls Club in Iowa. After graduating from the University of Iowa in 2008, he ran for state office, but ultimately lost and found himself working in the payment platform industry. Eventually, he quit his job, moved to Atlanta after receiving an investment from a venture capitalist in the area. He started Soft Giving in 2017. In its earliest days, Soft Giving worked on a roundup product for debit and credit cards. Roundup, meaning like, hey, do you want to round up for charity? And this also made the company almost no money. So eventually they pivoted to focus on marketing for charities. Flatsgraf said that he saw an opportunity for charities to grow their market share. He leaned, I want to let you read some of his stuff. I'm going to stick to the nefarious stuff here, but at jacobwolf.report, you can read this. They had evidence and things like that, smaller charities, things of that nature. It goes on for about 18 months. From the beginning of 2020 to 2021, some streamers who worked with Soft Giving, many of whom were paid to do so, did not disclose that they were being compensated. Donation pages built by the Atlanta-based marketing agency did not contain prominently displayed disclosures outlining that, in fact, Soft Giving paid influencers, or that in some cases it took a commission, which feels illegal. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know that for sure. Over these 2 years, Soft Giving created campaigns that raised more than $6.2 million for charity. Soft Giving compensated itself with 2.6 out of the 6.2 million, or approximately 42% of the money raised, according to tax records. The company declined to comment on how much of that went to its bottom line versus how much went to the influencers. So now the question is, when you see Hasan raising all this money for Palestine, you see all these people raising money, Now you see the economy, right? I'm not saying they were paid. I'm saying some clearly were, and it was not disclosed because they knew what they were doing was wrong. You have the situation where the charity company, Soft Giving, has a chance to skim off 42 cents out of every dollar donated. The idea would be then they could take some of that, kick it back to the creator, right? So the creator gets $5,000 to promote a charity. Everybody looks good. But in fact, it's a super nefarious like theft. You know, in 2021, when Games for Love raised nearly $2 million of donations from Soft Giving organized events, according to publicly available tweets and archived donation pages, the charity received just $1 million afterwards, after Soft Giving and influencer cuts. So influencers were getting paid. So I hope Asmongold is not caught up in this. I don't care about any of these other people. I doubt it. Asmongold's got more money than he ever needs to do with, and he doesn't even spend it. So I hope that he doesn't. You know, it's like if you say you're donating $1, but only 50 cents of it is going to keep the lights on of this organization that's a middleman. By the way, if they donated the $2.6 million directly to Games for Love, they would have gotten $2.6 million. Instead, they got just 1.1, which is still obviously an immense amount of money. But what value did Soft Giving add in this? Many of the charities on the list bring significant revenue outside of gaming, including CARE, Make-A-Wish Foundation, American Cancer Societies. In a series of conversations from 2019 to 2022, Soft Giving offered one small charity, Stack Up, which benefits active duty military and veterans, commission-based deals that would split donations after expenses and transaction fees, according to emails, messages from the Jacob Wolf report from the nonprofit CEO. Listen to this. The first deal for Stack Up, offered in 2020, split donations 80-20, with 80% going to the charity, Machuga said. The second, in April, split the net proceeds 50-50, and then the third was 50-50 again. Stack Up did not agree to any of the deals. Machuga said that with each passing year, the proposed percentages proceeds that Soft Giving would charge for its services continue to increase. If you say you're donating $1, but 50 cents of it goes to keep the lights on of this organization or giving this in the streamers' pockets, that's where you start getting into the icky feeling of getting a little out of control. Here they show Hasan Abi. Ooh. In February 2023, Soft Giving received its most publicity to date. Following devastating earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, one of Twitch's most watched streamers, Hasan Piker, was determined to raise money for the disaster. Born in the US to Turkish parents, later raised in Istanbul, don't really care, Hasan's a douchebag. Anyway, one day later, Hasan Piker and Soft Giving teamed up to launch the campaign to benefit CARE. Halfway through Piker's 8.5-hour stream, things took a turn. On Twitter, Joshua Belkin, a former Tiltify software engineer, leaked a seemingly templated version of Soft Giving's base commission contract, which matched the contract that Machuga provided the Jacob Wolf report in 2022. This document showed that Soft Giving proposed to receive 50% of the donations after reimbursements and expenses of transaction fees. Those on Twitter and in Hasan Piker's Twitch chat became livid. Piker also grew more and more incensed, confused by what Belkin had just posted. This makes me so frustrated that I donated to Hasan's campaign, one donor said. Joe Landry wrote on Twitter in response to Belkin, what a corrupt, dishonest practice. Social media quickly turned on Piker. Some alleged Piker took the money for himself. Others called him a hypocrite. Another influencer, iShowSpeed, who had donated $8,000 to Piker's earthquake relief fund, called the stream a scam on his stream and went back on his pledge to donate another $50,000 to the cause. The backlash further enraged Piker. In the next 3 days, Piker raised more than $1 million for CARE. His manager, David Hunsinger of Night Media, told the Jacob Wolf report that Soft Giving provided him receipts showing that 100% of the funds, minus normal transaction fees, were donated to CARE. It's unclear what sort of relationship Soft Giving held with CARE. But of course, after that incident, their reputation was completely destroyed. I don't believe that, as much as I dislike Hasan Piker, I don't believe he knew this. I'm concerned. I'm curious how many streamers were paid kickbacks on raising money for charity, though. You should read the full report at jacobwolf.report. He's done some amazing work here, and so much so that he's getting sued over it. It doesn't seem like this lawsuit's going to go anywhere to me because it seems like pretty solid reporting. Don't forget to pick up your year-end Coffee Brand Coffee stuff. It's only while supplies last. We sold 400 items yesterday. We are pulled like nearly 10 items off this page already. So get on over there, pick it up today. Don't miss out. Link in the description. We'll talk to you again real soon.